Hey, what's up, family? Hope everybody having a good day. Want to come on here real quick to give you guys some daily encouragement, some inspiration as it relates to living within your means. So, just a little bit of background. As always, give you a little story time just to tell you how I even got to this point. The Holy Spirit was speaking to me about it. So, we are actually in transition of purchasing a new car, right? And so, with purchasing a new car, every time you go to the car lot, people will try to make you buy the newest vehicle from the car lot. Some people do that, and some people go other routes. Maybe they might go to a used car lot, or you get certified pre-owned, or you might lease a vehicle, whatever it may be when you go to purchase a car, right? And so when you go through that process, and when it triggered in my mind, I'm like looking at these different vehicles, and I'm like how the salesman is pushing to get the 2024 this, 2023 this, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. Like, I already knew in my mind what I wanted to get based on our finances of like, hey, what we can get that will put us in a place where we can do everything we need to do to the vehicle, get to and from where we want to get safe and sound, a car that's going to hold its value and do exactly what we needed to do. Because oftentimes when you go to these lots, like I said, they are pushing people to get the newer vehicles, which means that your car note, or if you're paying for the car all the way out, whatever it may be, or you're putting a large sum down, that's gonna be a lot more money that you have to pay, right? And so the thing about it is that what I got from the Holy Spirit would speak to me is like to live within your means. And I feel like that's something that my wife and I, that we are good stewards with the blessing that God gives us financially, to make sure that we are doing the right things with the money. Because sometimes people can say like, man, like, God, like, can you help me with my funds and my finances? And God could be looking at it like, man, I gave you enough money to do all the things that you need to do in life, that you need to do, not the wants, all the things that you need to do in life. I have provided those things, but the money that I gave to you, you went and spent it on getting a brand new Benz, a brand new this, a brand new that, when you could have just got you a car that did what you were supposed to do, get you from A to B, that's reliable, that has all of the essentials that you need. But sometimes people go above their means, and I want to provide that insight to people, because if you want to get to a point where you're financially stable, you have to live within your means to a point where you have no debt. So that means that why go out and purchase a $90,000, $80,000 car and you have an apartment? That doesn't make any sense. Or you go out and buy an $80,000, $90,000 car, or even $60,000, whatever the amount is for you, for your finance, that you know that that's over your head. Don't do it. Because then now if you run into a situation where you lose your job, or maybe you might have to, pay for an expense. If you own a home and something goes wrong, you got to repair a roof, or something happens to the car. Maybe you need to get new brakes, or you need to get new tires. And it's like, man, I'm not going to have any money for the next couple of weeks. But it's like, no, if you plan already ahead of that, that puts you in a better place where you can be more financially stable. And so I wanted to be able to just come on here to give you that information, to say, like, live within your means. Don't get so focused on what's around you and what other people are doing that you start trying to live for other people, when in all actuality, the people that you looking at that might have these different material things, whether it's clothes, whether it's their house, whether it's the vehicles they drive, the lifestyle, going on vacation, some of the people that's doing that stuff is doing that and they broke. And I'm just being honest. And maybe if they not broke, sometimes people are living above their means, which means that they going on these trips and all that, but they might be coming home and be scratching their head figuring out like, I'm in crazy debt. You could have all this stuff and look nice, but are you truly financially stable? And when I say financially stable, I mean like, okay, I have no debt. No debt. I don't got no credit card debt. I don't got no student loan debt. I ain't got no hospital bills that I owe. Like, there's nothing that I owe. And that's where we have to be in this time of day, because that allows you to truly, everything that you work for, you get to really do what you want to do with it. What's the sense of working 40 hours a week or working overtime and you gotta pay all this debt? 70% of your check, like I seen this thing, Dave Ramsey was saying, is that 75 to 80% of people's check that they make goes out to debt. Come on, man, like, that right there show you, like, that's the quality of life that you live. And so for me and my family, I like high quality life. I like going on trips. I like, being able to know I can pay for something, go do something, and not worry about what's in my bank account. And that comes from, again, having the relationship that you have with God, which makes you a good steward of the money that you have. Because if you truly have a good relationship with God, then you understand how to spend your money, how to utilize your money, to realize that it is a resource. And if it is a resource, how can I use it effectively to bring, one, more money in, two, to make sure that I'm making it stretch. Like, because God gonna make it stretch, but you also have to put works with it. Like, faith without works is dead. We talk about that all the time on this channel. So at the end of the day, you can't say, oh God, I'm believing for you to pay off my debt, but you're not putting in the work to save. You're not putting in the sacrifice to say, hey, I'm not going out to eat on the weekends. I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna buy my groceries, I'm gonna cook and eat for a whole 2-3 months to see how much savings that I have. These are all the things that it takes to be financially stable. And I wanted to, again, just have this conversation, because if you start today, if you say that, man, like, I don't know where to start, I don't know where to go, look at your finances, pull up your finances, write out on a journal, or if you advance, like what I like to do is put it on an Excel sheet. And like, but again, you don't need to do that. You can just put it on a piece of paper. Say, okay, how much money do I make bi-weekly? Okay, this is how much I make, so okay, I make that, so you do that twice, you'll find out how much you make in an entire month. Okay, now let's look at all the expenses. What are all the things that you pay every month? Your rent, your mortgage, groceries, gas, if you have a car note, all of these things, think about it. So then now you can really visually see in black and white how much money you're spending each month before you start spending on the extra stuff. And then that's what allows you to understand what you can and cannot do, what things are truly needs that you need and things are truly wants, because that allows you to understand how to spend your money. And so many people don't really even know how much they could get on a monthly basis, what's coming in and what's going out. And so if you don't have no track on that, a big item can show up on your list where you got to get a roof repair, you got to, you got a dog and you got to pay for a vet bill. And it's like, dang, man, like, why I don't got any money now? Why I don't got any money? And it's like, at the end of the day, you don't got any money because you're not budgeting it right. So again, I just wanted to provide this education. I hope that there's somebody out there that's looking forward to get financially stable, to understand what things you have to do. And these are just the starter bases of it. I'm kind of going all over the place. But it's, again, if you take heed to it and you do it, you understand, spend only what you truly can spend. Don't put yourself in debt. Don't just be putting anything on a credit card or buying credit cards at the place that you go shopping and get clothes all the time. Oh, I'm at Macy's, I'm gonna get a Macy's card. Every time they get to the checkout, hey, today you can get 10% off of what you paid today, or $25 off. Think about it. Nobody's giving away nothing for free. So clearly they want you to get that credit card so then you can spend more money with them. If it makes sense for you, then you do it. But if not, don't put yourself in debt, because that's gonna just perpetuate you to spend money because you have the card. So again, just think and be smart about the way that you're spending your money and the way that you're utilizing your money. Remember that it is a resource that God has given us. So always, always, always make sure that, number one thing, remove all debt. That's going to help you get financial freedom right there. Remove all debt. And just because maybe you owe $80,000, $60,000, or $100,000, depending on the student loans, just start today. Say, okay, how can I plan this out to pay it off? You know what I mean? Like, the next thing I'm looking to do is paying off houses. Like, I want to get to that point. I have that amount of faith in God where I'm like, God, I don't want to have to owe no money on my house. I don't care how much money it costs. I want to pay it off. So then now when we get our checks every 2 weeks, every month, that money is just for us living. Imagine that life. And I sometimes I just really think about it. I'm like, yo, that's why people really can't enjoy life, because you got to pay bills, you got to work. So imagine if you didn't have any bills. Like, I'm not saying like no, but I'm saying like no debt, and that you paid off your house. And maybe you brought a house that was within your means, so you didn't go buy a $500,000 house because you want to show it off on Instagram, TikTok, and to the world. But a house that's just a good quality roof over your head. It got all the essential the needs that you need. It covers those bases, but oftentimes we go for, hey, I want to get this car, I want to get this house because it give me a good look. I don't want to pull up to work in this type of car. I don't want to invite people over and I don't got this type of house, or I don't have this. So it's like, don't worry about what's around you. Focus on yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to be in the ins and outs of your life and knowing what's coming from it is yourself. So focus on yourself. Don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses. And then again, remove your debt, and then be smart with your money and the resources that you have that God has provided for you, and utilize it, be a good steward over it. I'm telling you, man, you'll be financially stable in no time. So I hope that this is encouragement, inspiration for you to do better with your finances, or to continue to keep doing what you're doing with your finances. And make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Hope that you guys have a great day. To God be the glory. Hey.